Wonderful turn there, really fast, very good control, and no chance for Victor Valdez. And now he is on for you, Piqué. Ross, Vicente del Bosque heard you, that you wanted him, and Carlos Puyol made his game number 100 and is on the bench for the second half. Piqué in for him.
Gerard Piqué will play alongside Sergio Ramos then. One Barca man for another.
But I wonder, how will you distinguish now Ramos and Piqué if they're both on?
Yeah, they're copying each other's haircuts now. 15 and number 3. Here we go. So, who will claim the ascendancy in the second half? Spain. It's been a long time since they tasted defeat. We mentioned unbeaten in the last 17 matches. Last team to beat them came at Wembley. It was England in a friendly as well. But this match, a milestone not just for Carlos Puyol, but also his coach, Vicente del Bosque, reaching his 68th match in charge now of the Spanish national side, taking over in July 2008. Del Bosque now tying alongside Kubala, the famous coach of years past, who was at the helm for over a decade. And Vicente del Bosque taking another step really and ticking all of the boxes as unassailably Spain's most revered manager of all time.
He was a player under Kubala and lost the World Cup 78. Vicente del Bosque due to an injury, although he had 3 games before the World Cup came up again, but was still not ready by then. And asked about Kubala if he's still angry at him about that. He said, no, how could I? He did his job. Not taking me was a normal decision, Vicente del Bosque. And when he was asked to describe Kubala, he said he is overall a gentleman, a very detailed man, and very human. So actually that describes him perfectly well too, Vicente del Bosque, speaking about Kubala. But he has the same, really the same characteristics. Very nice man, gentleman. And I'm not sad at him, and I'm not angry at him, because he was sitting me on the bench. Really don't. He's a very nice man and a very good coach.
It's ironic, isn't it? The 68th match, same as Laszlo Kubala, in charge of Spain, but in typical humble fashion, Del Bosque saying that Kubala deserves more recognition for the period in which he was at the helm, over 10 years. We play a lot more games nowadays, he says, but of course Del Bosque, hard to argue with his achievements as Spain's most successful ever coach, lifting the World Cup and of course a European Championship to go with it. So in those 68 games, this is the 68th. The previous 57, he's previous 67, he's won 56 of them. Incredible
Numbers, that's right. Good here, good football for Uruguay. But Ramos, the captain now in the second half, is very good defending here from him. One last thing about Vicente del Bosque as a player. He stopped the same day when Kubala stopped for the national team. That was 1980 after the Euro Cup. They were beaten there. And it was England. Yes, it was England, Ross. You don't have to remind me. I knew that.
And as Kubala played that game, or his team played that game against England in 1980, Del Bosque was part of the squad. As you mentioned, he was on the bench. And now he reaches the same number of games in charge of the Spanish national team as the great Budapest-born former Barca striker Laszlo Kubala. So
while we're talking about the Euro Cup 1980, who was the winner by then?
Yeah, I believe they did okay, didn't they? Germany?
Yeah, Germany, the European Cup winner in 1980. Now here we go. South American champion in ball position, Uruguay. Cavani
latching onto that pass from Alvaro Gonzalez, and was Ramos coming across.
Nice setup here, and Cavani was able to get onto the ball, but Ramos defends here. Difficult angle. Nothing else to do for Cavani here. as the Spanish defense protects their goal perfectly well.
Sergio Ramos will hope to make the 100 club when Spain take on Finland. Next qualification match for them. They play in Group I in the UEFA contingent, of course. Just the one group in South American qualifying, that Uruguay are currently in 5th place in that standing, occupying the final place, which would mean a playoff if they were to end there against the Asian sides. Currently, although there's a lot of football still to be played, Uruguay would be up against either Iran or Iraq in a 2-legged playoff for a place at Brazil 2014. So they certainly want to avoid that kind of run-in. Some better performances towards the end of qualifying. Fabregas takes this corner, headed clear by Luis Suarez.
Let's see if Spain is going more direct on goal now. They had a lot of possession in first half, but did not create too much chances, did not take advantage of this ball possession.
Iniesta going at Nicolas Lodeiro, coming away from him. Going at Pereira. The ping pong in there. David Villa, who's on in this second half. It's Pedro. It's 2-1! Spain go back in front. It takes them just 6 minutes of the second half. Lugano can't believe that there's another defensive lapse, but really Spain opened the door and Pedro pushed it wide ajar.
Oh, really? Is the typical Spanish football. They always try to dig into the box with direct football. 100 times they tried, they don't come through, but one time the ball comes through, and then it's Pedro who puts it in on the second post. Defender could have done a little bit more, protect the second post, whereas the goalkeeper usually protects the first one. But look at this here, far away. Not really good defending there by Alvaro Gonzalez. It's not helping a lot, his goalkeeper. And Pedro scores. 2-1 Spain.
So it was Diego Godin who ran out of possession for Uruguay, and it was quickly transferred over, so devastatingly so. Spain don't hang about in that situation. They saw the gap, they went for it, and Pedro finishing clinically.
Same situation now for Uruguay again, like in the first half. They're down with 1 goal and need to come back. Mentioned it, David Villa in the game now, and there's more of a reference in the box, around the box. A real striker up there.
Sir Juan Mata is the man who's made way. Spilaqueta, Cazorla, Iniesta, Busquets for Fabregas, involved again for Spain.
Left side is working well from Spain. Haven't seen too much from the right wing. The beginning of the game a little bit, but then nothing else.
Well, Pereira getting into trouble by trying to dribble. Cazorla has it back. Fabregas, Iniesta.
Right wing would be possible now, but Iniesta looking for the middle.
Perez, away by Lodeiro. Pedro, the goal scorer. His fellow goal scorer, Fabregas, chopped down.
And no discussion on this one here. Alvaro Gonzalez hits the right foot of Fabregas.
It looked a bit painful, didn't it? Seemed like it was trodden on somewhat.
Twisted. It's usually the worst part.
Iniesta.
Looking again for the left. They're forgetting about the man on the right, defender side, Cesar Azpilicueta. Not used at all, and there he is, the legend, Raúl. visited the Spanish team yesterday with his 4 sons, Fernando Hierro, ex-teammates of mine, both of them. Met each other, and they met even a third one, Fernando Morientes.
Oh, it's Rodriguez again! He went tumbling, he wants a penalty. It was Pedro back there.
What a great chance here for Uruguay, and it really looked like penalty there. We have the chance to see the replay. Hopefully the referee doesn't, and he did not decide on penalty on this one.
Ramos lifting it for Jordi Alba.
What a touch here from Alba. Iniesta through. Foul.
Oh, little kick out
angry.
from Jordi Alba as well. Yellow card, and then the
watch out.
hand is raised. He's got to be very, very careful here. Uruguayan players getting him involved, but Jordi Alba twice raising his hands after the initial card was given. And the referee has now got a melee to sort out as Ramos steps in to try and protect his player.
He really got angry. You could tell, see Jordi Alba, really unusual. It was really close to a red card here while he was reacting there, overreacting.
Del Bosque saying, what's the fuss about? Referee Almari wants some more action to hand out. It's Perez who gets the yellow. And is that for Iniesta?
It looked like it was for Iniesta. Definitely for Perez.
Ramos.
Ramos was there, and he was entering the fight. Yeah, he was the one.
So, something that we're not too accustomed to seeing so far in the opening 50-odd minutes. Flash points between these two teams.
Yeah, but you could really tell when Alba was fouled, the foul was not called. He got really angry and stepped up. And now again, Uruguay makes an interesting move over the left.
Ramos just picked up that yellow. Iniesta. That's stopped nicely by Maxi Pereira. And Edinson Cavani asks and receives and goes for it. Fingertips from Valdez.
Wunderbar. Great save by Victor Valdez. Not easy to get this one here. Let's see here. The stealing away from Pereira. And wonderful strike from Edinson Cavani, but Victor Valdez puts his right hand onto it. Fingertips only, just enough that it goes, and corner for Uruguay.
Taken here by Nicolas Lodero.
Have not given up, Uruguay.
Out by Piqué. Rodriguez wanted to swing at it and commits the foul. Pedro was trying to nick in on his blind side. Just a brief pause while the players deal with their knocks and bruises.
Foul here against Pedro. And here he comes. Isco, first international match for Spain for the youngster. Player from Malaga.
He's just 20 years of age. He'll be 21 until April. Isco will now get a taste of international football at the highest level, as though this is a real test for them. And Uruguay certainly still showing plenty of bite. And there's Maxi Pereira trying to get at Iniesta, typifying that enthusiasm to try and find a second equaliser here. There's the man who's put Spain back in front. Fabregas couldn't find Veer. It might come back to Fabregas. He goes over the challenge of Godin. Ball had already gone.
Good defending there by the captain Lugano. And Uruguay developing a counter-attack.
Del Bosque just having a word with Isco. Very good season so far for Malaga. They've progressed on the domestic and Champions League front. The playmaker, he says he's very unfortunate that in his position, he plays for Spain because the best players in the world play for Spain in his position, and one of them is coming off.
Isco a lot of times compared to Iniesta. Pretty similar, you can tell, right, coming in, almost the same height. Similar characteristics when they play. And this is the first international match debut for Isco. David Villa is on the go, all by himself.
And going for the top corner as Isco arrived. He was the only one in support.
It was a nice try, missing only by inches. There was no offside. Was moving right at the edge of the line. And he tries to put it on the angle, on the far away angle. Look at this, how close this was. Nice try by David Villa. And he is the player who goes straight for the goal. Doesn't want to play around there. Taking his chance and a shot on goal.
Well, still leading the way for Spain, of course. All-time leading goal scorer, Villa.
Cavani was a real strange move here.
Well, Spain will take the throw-in. Cesar Azpilicueta. Cazorla. Perez is following him everywhere. Jordi Alba. A little bit fortunate that this is an exhibition game. He's still on the field. Even the way he reacted to receiving his yellow card.
An overreaction there. Got really hot between the two teams. Things have calmed down now, and the referee did good to show cards to interrupt directly.
Well, the yellow cards do count. It is a official FIFA friendly.
Isco, the new man.
He'll just want to get in there and try a little bit of possession football, make himself at home. It's a good test because the way that Uruguay is set up here. Oh, and some nasty stuff between Cáceres and Azpilicueta.
Azpilicueta excused directly for his foul against him, although it was not called. It was a tackle on the ground. But Cáceres was not really happy about it and shot the ball directly at him.
Tempers certainly not away from simmering just yet.
That's in temperature.
Yep. Del Bosque using his opportunity to bring players on. 3 changes made so far. Isco for Busquets.
Build the left side, no change to the right.
No way past Lugano for the new man. To go trying to rob Alvaro Gonzalez, he does so. Sergio Ramos. Out of a tight corner into the path of Piqué. The papers published pictures of Piqué, or at least the first picture with Piqué and his newborn son, Milan. He and Shakira celebrating the birth of their young son. It's a nice picture.
Yeah, lovely picture. Twitter's it all the time, all the new stuff.
Crowd atmosphere just silent somewhat.
Yeah, not too many fans of both sides here. A lot of Qataris for sure. They just want to see this exhibition, and have seen good football so far.
Rodriguez with Suarez. go at Azpilicueta.
Nice.
Turned him twice. Busquets, back to Valdez. Calm as you like.
Not easy, this back pass from Busquets, but Victor Valdez, as you mentioned, really cold-blooded. No problems for him.
Well, Diego Perez, the Bologna man, has been a bit of a terrier in that central midfield role. He's gotten involved and broken up a lot of play. And another terrier.
Actually, I love him in midfield. I love to see him there.
He is the ball winner from Palermo, and man who is one of the 3 used by Uruguay's overage players in the Olympic squad, along with this man Cavani and Luis Suarez, wearing the flame yellow boots. But it's Spain who have bypassed him here, and Isco is through on goal. If he'll reach that before Muslera, goalkeeper says no.
Good try here for Spain. Uruguay paying attention to those chances and defending well.
PK
has some fans here in Doha.
Yeah, not quite the Beatles reception, but a few high-pitched screams for Gerard Piqué.
Here we have the nice setup from Pedro Isco making the run, but Muslera paying attention. And really good goalkeeping from him. Fabregas giving away this easy ball in midfield, gives the opportunity to Uruguay. Maxi Pereira.
Scooting through, clear of 2. Almost getting the bounce off Ramos, but Busquets coming in and sweeping. Right full back making a long run forward.
See that there's a lot of confidence in Victor Valdez on Busquets' side, passing all the balls back, even if it's close to the goal line, a lot in a crowded penalty area.
Rodriguez, the goal scorer, looking
nice
for Cavani.
Try.
Unselfishly back for Suarez's path, and luckily for him the ball was behind him, but he tried to turn through anyway, and Cavani trying to explain himself to Jordi Alba as more ill temper threatens to get involved here. Cavani jumping for the ball, clearly.
Yeah, clearly there was nothing else. I don't know what Jordi Alba is about there. Got into the discussion with Cavani, but there was no reason at all for that. Nice header from Cavani, bringing it back into the danger zone.
Maybe Del Bosque perhaps should consider bringing Jordi Alba off.
There's Monreal on the bench, still available on this position.
Isco. Good saving challenge and block from Diego Godin. Azpilicueta committing the foul. Getting a bit messy now, but as a coach, would you perhaps suggest that a replacement is found for Jordi Alba?
Yeah, I think definitely, because his temper is going over the top now, and you have sometimes player on that specific day, they're not in the mood and overreacting, so I think it's much better to take them out and instead of getting the red card sooner or later.
Well, as you said, Bodo, the little onion, Christian Rodriguez, temporarily at least made the Spanish cry by poking home a very nice equaliser.
Well, the control was fantastic, the turnaround, wonderful goal from Christian Rodriguez, La Cebolla, how they call him in Uruguay, which is the onion.
Now replaced by Gonzalo Castro, the man who also plays in Spain for Real Sociedad. Or perhaps thoughts that Uruguay might try and blood a couple of players from the under-20s. The South American Championships have been taking place in Argentina, where Uruguay showing a bit more confidence, came third overall. And Nico Lopez, striker who plays for Roma, he's not in the squad, nor is Cristoforo. But they will bring on another change now. The man who certainly knows where the goal is, their all-time leading goal scorer, Diego Forlan, will replace Edinson Cavani, who's shown some of his talents in fits and starts. Not had the best game, it must be fair to say.
Diego Forlan now. Looking forward to see him now in the last 20 minutes of the game. He's fresh and always in good shape if he wants to step up for his national team.
It's the 2 goals in qualifying for Forlan so far. Seems to have gone off the boil somewhat since going back to Brazil as well. Not been in great scoring form. And now Spain, a warm embrace between the 2 former Villarreal players, Santi Cazorla and Diego Forlan. As Cazorla leaves the field, he's had a very good game.
Regular game for Cazorla. Holding his position in midfield. Was part of the tiki-taka of the ball possession.
Third man to make his Spanish debut tonight, Mario Suarez. Spain having to defend this corner with 20 minutes to go. Caravalho Rios can't continue because the offside flag has been raised. Spain will build again from the back. Now with Isco and Azpilicueta and Mario in the centre, Spain certainly giving experience and a run out for those players.
And Del Bosque needs to try some new players out, and that's this game about. Qualification coming up again, then he has to choose his first 11 to step up against Finland, France later on. Not easy games coming up for Spain, and the first time that the world champion is not directly qualified for the World Cup. They have to run through this qualification games, and that's not always easy.
Yes, but they are in pretty good shape, it should be said there.
Definitely.
Their draw against France recently in Madrid, where they conceded a 94th minute equaliser in World Cup qualifying. That was the first points that they had dropped in qualifying since September 2007, when they drew in Reykjavik against Iceland. It's 16 wins in a row. They still have a big job to do, of course. Long way to go in qualifying for Brazil, but they should be okay. They are in France's group, though, and France will be buoyed by that point in Madrid.
Yep. Jordi Alba, hard try of defending here, but Suarez was the stronger one, winning the better position. Yeah, walking out, but he shouldn't have touched the ball then. He knew already that if he would touch it, then he's offside. He could tell by the way he moved to the ball. Here he comes. He walks out of the offside position, but instead of leaving it for his teammate, he touches it and the offside is called.
Well, it has been a long flight, of course, for all of the players, although most of them have come from Europe. Still a several-hour plane ride, and just wonder if mentally there's a little bit of fatigue coming from the weekend.
Yeah, it looks like, although Spain, we know how the way they are playing. They actually like this way of play. A lot of contacts, a lot of ball possession, and just looking for the box once in a while. They found the net twice. Uruguay just once so far.
Here's David Villa. Sets Fabregas. Beautiful!
Oh, and there
there's
they
the
are
fifth
again.
goal. Pedro's second. And just as Del Bosque contemplates another substitution, Spain going through and beating Muslera for a third time. A lovely team goal this time, polished off by Pedro for a brace.
David Villa, excellent here. His assist on Pedro. Goalkeeper tries to come out and is not fast enough. Here you see David Villa receives it back. Oh, it was Fabregas who sets up Pedro. I thought that was Villa, but wonderful pass this here. Muslera comes a little bit too late. And Pedro completely in speed scars, and he's out.
His
Pedro
last
goes.
contribution. Pedro Rodriguez adding another 2 goals in terms of international strikes, bringing his total for the national team to 11. A man who hit a hat-trick in October as Spain won 4-0 in Belarus. Content with 2 tonight. His last action is to bring up the 3-1 scoreline. And now Villa, who helped create that 3rd goal, pushing through for the man who's just come on to replace Pedro, Alvaro Negredo.
And from no strikers in the first half, we are up to 2 real strikers. No false number 9. Now we have a real number 9 for Spain playing Negredo. And David Villa moving around him. Here we have him playing the pass to Fabregas. Fabregas chipping it over to Pedro.
Expert instincts to judge the offside from Pedro, to judge the arrival of the ball, and obviously wonderful vision from Fabregas just beyond the outreached hand of Muslera.
Uruguay trying to come back, not giving up here, but Spaniards too good in controlling the ball. Now we lose a lot of rhythm here in the game due to the changes every second minute.
Deveros makes the change to bring off Lodero. Walter Gargano is on. Another busy central midfield player. You mentioned it, but it is very much a feature of Uruguay's midfield. A lot of players who like to get stuck in. There is Gargano with his first attempt. PK.
Nice try here by Suarez as a player down, and Spain kicks it out.
Yeah, Alvaro Gonzalez there. Feeling his head. Going through with Ramos. Oof.
He receives the knee of Ramos accidentally. No intention here from Ramos while he was clearing the ball. That hurts a lot. Still down. And here we come. Monreal enters for Jordi Alba. Smart choice of Del Bosque and his team. And the whole team was together in Madrid when I was playing there. His assistant coach, Tony Grande. Javier Mignano, the physical coach. And wonderful replay again of the 3rd goal. Pedro this time beating Fernando Muslera for the 2nd time tonight.
Nacho Monreal, who until very recently, of course, played his club football in Spain, now at Arsenal of England, winning his 10th cap now, as we see the 2-goal star of the show, Pedro, taking a breather on the bench, and Alvaro Gonzalez is going to join him, I think, on the other bench. Ice pack to the head. Feel sorry for him. Nothing he could do as Ramos came through him.
And no intention on this foul. I have to repeat that, although it looked really bad, and it's a bad injury. And Monreal, first touch for him. Good touch. Second one escapes.
Your thoughts on Nacho Monreal? Bodo's a player who's obviously had to bide his time for recognition at international level as well, but at club level seems to be taking a few stepwards upwards.
Yeah, definitely. But it's hard to enter this Spanish team right here. As you said with Isco, there's a lot of good players. The team is working well. Everything is in order, in function. And it's really hard to step out there while all the positions are full. Jordi Alba played very well the Euro Cup, so it's hard to get in there. Alvaro Arbeloa had a very, very good Euro Cup too, defensively. But now we have seen a move there on this side, and the midfield is really packed of excellent players and a lot of talent. So for a youngster like Isco to come in there is really hard too. But Del Bosque is trying one after the other. You know, we don't forget Micho, who still is out there. And Del Bosque just mentioned him during the week that they don't find a space for him right now, so he wasn't invited here. But there will come a day when he is called for. I'm pretty sure about that.
Yeah, it's a shame for Michu, the Swansea City striker. 16 goals in 31 appearances for the Swans. And would have been nice for him to experience the national squad. Of course, no Fernando Torres in this squad either, who's got 15 goals in 40 appearances. And it's been blowing hot and cold again for Chelsea this season. Markedly improved under the reign of Rafa Benitez there at Stamford Bridge.
Especially in December, he had a very good month.
And internationally for Fernando Torres, the last 10 appearances since May, he's only had 5 starts out of those 10, and he played the 90 minutes just once. He did provide 4 goals, 3 of them coming in the European Championships. There's Castro's header.
9 minutes left for Uruguay to come closer to Spain, to the world champion.
So far it's a Northern Hemisphere victory on the cards. Play continues here. Shot from distance. Not going to trouble Valdez from Walter Gargano.
It was a nice try. It had a good bounce, but it was not on target. Otherwise, would have created some trouble for Victor Valdez. Good defending high up here from Godin, the center back for Atletico Madrid. Touched the ball, so no foul was called, and this nice try from Walter Gargano.
There's Matias Aguirre-Garay wearing the 13 shirt, who's come on for Alvaro Gonzalez, and who got clattered in the face. Aguirre-Garay, just his second cap for Uruguay. He's sliding in as if this has got something on it, as opposed to being just a friendly.
Yeah, well, that's what the coach wants to see. That's what the fans want to see. If they step up for your national team, you want to see passion. You want to see this enthusiasm. Mitchell Salgado was there, another former player, former teammate of mine. So this stadium is packed of ex-teammates of mine.
You had to give your ticket away, Bodo. Join me in the commentary box.
You needed me here by your side to remind you that it was not Piqué in the first half.
Always glad of the help. Isco picks up the free kick then. We've got 7 minutes plus stoppages here at the Khalifa Stadium.
This time this was foul here. No ball involved, just the legs from Isco. Foul was called against Godin.
Alvaro Gonzalez will have a sore head for a couple of days, you'd have thought.
Oh,
Lovely
what
touch.
A control here by Fabregas.
Wonderful pass for Negredo as well. Villa. Inside is Isco. Puts it back from Fabregas. Happy to bring Azpilicueta in.
Touch-wise, there's no change with Isco here. He loves the same way of playing and touching the ball directly. Maximum 2 contacts. And now he used a little more. They move the ball around. It's hard to get on the ball for Uruguay right now. And it's really frustrating when you're behind 2 goals shy. You want to score and you can't even reach the ball. Have to run there. That tires you out, wears you out. A lot of frustration coming up there.
And the coach, of course, demanding full commitment. Go out there and chase this ball down.
It's always a difference if you have the ball and run, or you run after the ball. That tires you really much more.
Just get your thoughts on this as well. We mentioned the European Club Association meeting in Doha. 150 member clubs represented here at the moment. And among the issues they're discussing, the effect on their players as they give them up for the national teams who will be competing at the World Cup finals in a summer World Cup or a winter World Cup. At the moment, they're experiencing the winter weather in Doha. Flag is up here against Suarez. But, Bodo, just get your thoughts on whether you would prefer to see games played in the searing temperatures of over 120 degrees Fahrenheit, or whether the more calm temperatures like tonight of around 70, 75 are better.
I remember a World Cup game in Dallas against South Korea with Germany, and it was awfully hot. We were in the hundreds. I don't think that we reached the 120s, but it was really awful hot, and it really affects you. It can't play the same football as with other temperatures, and that's a good reason to change this time. Move around from the traditional date in summertime.
Oscar Tabarez will hope that his Uruguay side can do enough in the coming 9 months to seal their place at Brazil 2014. He's got some work to do and trying to work out how to deal with the seemingly stop-start form of Diego Forlan. Maybe a new formation for Uruguay, and of course a few away encounters. Part of their qualification, 4 away games, 3 home games remaining for them. Next up will be in March an away trip. They'll take on Chile 4 days after they host Paraguay.
Uruguay this time in ball possession and trying to shorten distance here.
Given away by Arevalo Rios, straight to David Villa.
Looking for Negredo. First one did not work out, but Negredo wins it back and wants to set up David Villa. There's a player on the pitch without any shoe, and that gives a free kick to Spain.
Diego Godin claims the missing boot.
Was stepped on though by Negredo as he continued playing and interrupted the game. That's the reason for this free kick here.
Your thoughts on Uruguay, Bodo, and what they may or may not be missing right now as they attempt to qualify for the World Cup finals in Brazil?
Yeah, first of all, they need to step up here with their defensive line. They had to change that they really more aggressive and better defending. Can't be that they concede so many goals. And I think there is a really good team in the counter-attack, and they will get much more possibilities against other teams. Spain is really hard to play, and so that's not really the standard. They're the world champion, they're European champion. They love the ball possession. They don't give easily away the balls. So it's not the team to beat. But all the others in South America, they have to beat. They have to use their offensive power they have in their rows, and then they can be doing much better than they did in the first games of the qualification.
Suarez is looking to capitalize here. Forlan pulling away. Azpilicueta comes back, gives the coverage.
If you look at those strikers they have in the rows, they should be able to score much more goals on the run. With Cavani, with Suarez, with Forlan. Defensive midfield is good positioned. There's strong players in there.
Missing a playmaker, perhaps?
Yeah, they're missing some ideas. Yeah, definitely that would help. Don't see anyone out there with the sparkling ideas for them.
And therein lies perhaps the biggest issue, connecting the back to the front. Here's Negredo. That issue is something that has never troubled Spain in the last 4 years.
Negredo wants to repeat the same goal as Fabregas had in the first half, the very first one. But this strike was much too high, and this distance almost unmanageable to score. Wonderful view of this stadium in Doha.
Isco, Villa, 4 additional minutes here. Spain looking for their 4th. It's Villa. Muslera stops it.
And that's what I like about David Villa. He goes for the goal directly. No other look in the middle. And he's in good position here. Plays the double with a Uruguayan defense. But good reaction here by Muslera.
Villa, interesting pass to Ramos. Almost got away from him. And no foul on Castro. And so Uruguay will keep it going. Suarez came off Azpilicueta's heel. Sergio Busquets puts Spain back in possession. And the main takeaways for Spain from this game, Bodo?
Everything is working out fine for them. They have a good performance with or without striker. They are able to score with or without number 9. We've seen that in the Euro Cup. We've seen that tonight again. They don't lose their patience, have a lot of possession, very good ball control, and sooner or later they create their chance and score.
Crowd anticipating another chance here. Isco wrong-footing them and providing the cross. Negredo went for it.
Now Isco was offside after received the ball again. Good chance in the middle for Negredo, and David Villa coming into it. But the goalkeeper Muslera is there. Defender slides in. Goal was closed.
Muslera has had a real challenge. He'll still be looking back to that moment in the first half when he allowed Fabregas' shot to slip through his fingers.
Oh, that's the job of the goalkeeper. So hard sometimes and so crucial. Was a very important goal, was a leading goal, and that helped Spain to win this game.
It's the issue, isn't it? When you're a goalkeeper, when you make a mistake, it's usually a goal.
It is, and it's really tough. Striker up front, losing a lot of opportunities, but not the same issue as when you fail as a goalie.
Lugano robs Negredo. Avrilo Rios with another poor pass.
Fabregas too slow there. Just wants to be the game over, but he's just walking in midfield now.
As
he's just waiting for the whistle. As a coach, I wouldn't like that at all.
Aguirre Garay doing well, the Peñarol man, substitute for Uruguay. Now Castro for Suarez. And I don't know if Cesc Fabregas is protecting an injury or whether he's picked up a knock.
Yeah, he looks like that he was a little bit of an injury, otherwise it would be really not excusable. But he just walks around that. We're just waiting for the final whistle.
Yeah, I just saw a signal there. Looked like it might be a groin twinge from Fabregas, adjusting to the bench. But they're leaving him on. Remaining 15 seconds or so. And Spain will pick up this victory and move on. The next serious encounter will be Finland as they take them on at El Molinón in Gijón. But for his 68th game in charge, Del Bosque wins the battle of the continents. The European and world champions, too good for the Copa America champions. opening the scoring through Cesc Fabregas. A bit of a gift from Muslera, the Uruguayan goalkeeper. A nice equaliser from Christian Rodriguez, though, on 32 minutes after Puyol's volley had been ruled out. The Centurion unable to cap his appearance with a goal. But then in the second half, it was Pedro on the end of good work. Forlan was introduced by Uruguay, but he couldn't find the route to goal. And the discussions after a few tempers were lost in the second half. Now it feels fairly placid. A good exhibition between both teams, Bodo.
Yeah, good exhibition. Both teams know now where they stand, what they have to do better. Uruguay has big qualification games coming up. They need to step up one more step, definitely.
Well, the big one is to follow here. Honduras taking on the United States. But it's Spain's game against Uruguay. They win by 3-1. Thanks for joining Bodo and myself, Ross Dyer. Bye for now.
There's a team where we all stand united, red, white, and blue. Make no mistake, this will be a complicated rise to the top. The moment where words subdue and action must take over. The U.S. national soccer team marches forward to a new challenge in Honduras. Dempsey, Howard, Bocanegra, Bradley. They are the biggest stars, and now they have a commitment to write their names on the upcoming World Cup, all under the management of Jurgen Klinsmann. Honduras, USA. The CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers are on beIN Sport.